What you got here, Nick?
Yeah,
What are some of these guys?
absolutely. So I listed a few names at once. It was hard for me to pick just one, and I don't think the prediction is actually fueled by picking just one because it's almost the concept of the prediction. But what I wrote was at least one of Darrell Henderson, Latavius Murray, Carlos Hyde, and Donta Foreman will finish the season as a top 12 running back. And those are all guys. The reason I kind of lumped them in together was they're all guys that are going beyond round 9 and 10 right now. And again, so those are the names when you consider penny stocks who I think can blow up. Those are the running backs that I think genuinely have a shot to blow up. And the concept behind this is the handcuff idea of getting the guy in a absurd offense. I actually kind of want to throw Jalen Samuels or Benny Snell into this type of conversation as well. I just don't know which one it is yet. But you look at these, you look at least two of those offenses. The Chiefs, number 1 in total points. The Rams, number 2 in total points. The Saints, 4 in total points. And any one of those systems just thrives on kind of that workhorse, 3-down, multifaceted running back. So in that sense, like you got Damian Williams there with the Chiefs. I think he's the guy. I'm a believer in Damian Williams. I'm taking him everywhere mid-round 2, and I love it. I still believe in Todd Gurley for the Rams. I know you don't, but I know a lot of people don't, and he's a huge risk. But I still think he could be the guy. And obviously Alvin Kamara, a ridiculous beast of himself. So are there huge roadblocks to pretty much all those guys I listed outside Donta Foreman? Of course there are, but all it takes is one of them to go down, and I think you're getting a weekly top 7-ish style back if Carlos Hyde was the Chiefs' workhorse, if Darrell Henderson becomes the Rams guy. And of all of them, I think Darrell Henderson has by far the most standalone appeal in that he could be a 12-12 back and still have Gurley on the field. It could be like that Ingram, Kamara, where both of them were top 4 running backs for the Saints just 2 seasons ago. I wouldn't be shocked to see that happen with the Rams this year. The Saints, obviously, Kamara would have to be removed for Latavius Murray to, well, maybe not obviously.
Why is that obvious?
I just literally cited Ingram and Kamara were both top 5 running backs 2 seasons ago. So we gave those awesome touchdown metrics. I know you said, Latavius Murray, the most touchdowns since 2014 other than Todd Gurley, right? Something of that nature. I mean, a guy that's probably going to stand alone. And that's the other kind of part of this is at least a couple of those guys, Murray and Henderson in particular, are kind of what I call handcuff with benefits, that you probably are going to get some flex style value out of these guys even when the starter's there. But if the starter went down, you're looking at a top 5-6 weekly play. So when you go at round 10, this is more the concept behind the bold prediction. You got to find those guys where it's like they're going to be on your bench anyways. What is the best case? What is the ceiling? And again, Darrell Henderson, Murray, Hyde, and Foreman, any one of those 4. Foreman, kind of the only one here that maybe right from the start could be that featured guy. I know there's reports Miller's slimmed down. He's looking better. But Miller's awful. I'm so sick of him. And Foreman, there's tons of positive praise coming out for him. I more lump him in here because not so much the Texans were that explosive of an offense. They don't kind of fit that profile for last year. They were 11th in scoring. Not bad, but not in that top 5 range of those other 3 guys I listed.
Right.
But just 2 seasons ago, when Watson was healthy, when they had all their weapons as rookie, they were averaging over 40 points a game. That's higher than what the Chiefs were doing last year. So I think there is a case for the Texans to get back into that top 5, and whoever is the guy getting those scoring opportunities has top 12 upside, and I really hope it's Foreman. So that's kind of the concept behind it, is that late round, maximize your ceiling. What's the best case? It's whether it's an injury or not. I think Murray, Henderson, and Foreman already come with some, and Hyde, if Williams goes down, any one of those guys could be top 5 running backs by the end of the season in those roles. Yeah. I love loading I'll have 4 backup running backs on my bench. That's fine in that sense. I guarantee you at least one of those guys is top 12, maybe multiple.
Yeah, I totally like that. And, just going off of Foreman there, obviously Alfred Blue is no longer in Houston. And Alfred Blue, who's a pretty underwhelming running back, I mean, he himself had 170 touches in this offense last year. Oh. So I mean, if you just think about how much more talented.
That's horrible.
That's horrible,
Alfred
right?
Blue had 170 touches last year?
Unbelievable.
Oh, God.
He had 150 rush attempts. He only got 499 yards on those 150 rush attempts, and then he saw 20 receptions for 154 yards. So crazy inefficient, but the volume was there. And like you had mentioned with this offense, I feel like it's going to be very explosive this year. I think, with Titus Howard at tackle now, gives a little bit more time to Deshaun Watson to kind of stand and deliver a little bit. And he'll have those plays where he connects deep with Hopkins and Fuller and even Kuti over the middle. So I think that the receivers coming back healthy, an improved offensive line, Deshaun Watson is 3rd year. I think that lends to Deontay Foreman getting involved, whether Miller's involved or not. But with Latavius Murray, man, I love Latavius Murray the most out of this group, just because.
I was going to say, which is your favorite? Yeah, how would you organize this group? So Murray's the top.
Yeah, so Murray at the top, and to be quite honest with you, I'd probably take Jalen Samuels before I take Carlos Hyde here, just because I know Jalen Samuels will be involved. I mean, he was dominant in that stretch where Connor did go down. He was getting peppered with targets, and I feel like in PPR formats, Jalen Samuels could be a really sneaky guy that you can get at the back of the 9th round. He's going at the RB45 right now. And then obviously Carlos Hyde, he's part of the most explosive offense.
Yeah.
So you got to think about that value there, where if Damian Williams does go down, Carlos Hyde is a locked-in RB12, at least.
What do you think the Steelers would do if Connor is to go down? Do you think it becomes, last year was the Jalen Samuels show. I know they drafted Snell, who's been a monster in the college game as a workhorse back. Do you think that would become more of a committee, or like what do you think the Steelers would do in that situation?
So it's really interesting, right? Because obviously we saw Jalen Samuels take over as a lead dog, but there was really no one else there. With Benny Snell, as much as I don't like his talent, I don't think he's that good, even though he did have that workhorse history where he was receiving like 250 touches a year in college. I don't think he's that effective, but given this offensive line and just given the run scheme that Tomlin likes to run and just all those together, I think both those guys could potentially sustain value. I think you're getting an RB3 at worst out of both of them. Okay,
I gotcha. Interesting. So, and you said you'd go Murray, and then who would be, if you were like ranking them right now, if you're drafting today, what would be the order you take these guys in?
I take Latavius Murray first out of all of them, and I think that's reflected in his ADP because he's going in the 7th round as the RB33. So I take Murray out of all of them. Next up, I would probably take I want to say Deontay Foreman before Carlos Hyde, but I'm thinking just like in general where Carlos Hyde might have some standalone appeal, where Damian Williams could be used as a primary pass catcher.
Sure.
And Carlos Hyde could have the early down work tied up. He's a really good running back still. I don't get how people don't think he is. And I think Jalen Samuels will be last just because I'm pretty confident that Pittsburgh continues to ride their bell cow there.
What about Henderson? Is he the last of all of them, or Darrell Henderson? Where does he fit into that?
So
I know
yeah, Darrell Henderson is actually right after Latavius Murray for me.
Okay, cool.
I totally forgot about him. Yeah, so it'll go Latavius Murray, Darrell Henderson, Carlos Hyde, Deontay, and then Jalen.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's the guy that no matter what I do in a mock draft, I take him every single time in like round 7 or so, just to remind myself like I'm getting this guy no matter what, whether I own Gurley, whether I don't. When they compare him to Alvin Kamara, I don't think it's that ridiculous, especially when you look at the offense and how efficient and effective they are with their running backs. Gurley's a great talent, no doubt, but this guy is a whole different level of explosive. So I can't wait to see just standalone-wise how McVay uses this guy. Never mind if Gurley's arthritic knee does end up flaring up and you got this guy as the focal point of the backfield. I think either way he's going to have a beastly season, but man, I foam at the mouth when I think about Darrell Henderson as a round 7 pick. Like there's no more upside than that guy, other than maybe Latavius Murray and the touchdown upside he brings, but the explosiveness of Henderson puts him to the top of this group for me, and then Latavius Murray quickly after. They're kind of like in a tier a little bit above these guys, because I think you can start them even without the starter being out, but if the starter was out, both those guys are just insane. So those are like the handcuff with benefits clearly towards the top of that group, in my opinion.
Yep, no, I definitely agree there. I just wouldn't say that Henderson is more explosive than Todd Gurley. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't even comp him to Alvin Kamara. I do have problems when people do that. I don't think he has Alvin Kamara-like abilities. I think Kamara is like a generational talent, where Henderson, he's an explosive back, sure, and I think he's being put into a really good system, and I think he'll thrive based off that fact alone. And then if Todd Gurley goes down, I think it's just you've got a league winner on your hands. So totally agree with you there.